you're hitting the bag, is there anyone's face you've got in mind?
A couple of people, yeah.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at the darkest facts about the troubled life of Britney Spears.
How can you still say, but I'm lucky?
Because I have to believe that I'm here for a reason.
Her father struggled with alcohol use disorder. Britney's father, Jamie, struggled with heavy alcohol use from the time his eldest child, Brian, was born in 1977.
He later goes to rehab. He drifts in between construction, being a cook, tries to open a gym business that didn't work out, and later ends up filing for bankruptcy.
He doesn't seem to be a big presence in her life.
In both Britney and sister Jamie Lynn's respective memoirs, the siblings detail the fear and uncertainty they felt when their father was drinking. In 2004, Jamie went to rehab to treat his disorder, and in 2008, he became Britney's personal conservator in a controversial move prompted by a decline in Britney's mental health.
It's unusual because Britney is so young and productive. But there's speculation that she may be dealing with mental illness issues or drug abuse issues, or otherwise would benefit from this layer of protection. And it's sort of surprising in that Jamie wasn't a huge figure in her life before this.
As Britney began to fight against this conservatorship in later decades, she admitted she suspected her father was using alcohol again, though Jamie's lawyer denied this.
James's attorneys were arguing that there's not really a conflict between Britney and James, but then Ingham came on and said that that's not true and that Britney is afraid of her father and that Britney has told him on multiple occasions that she is refusing to work until he is no longer managing her career.
She went through a public miscarriage.
I have girls and I'm very jealous because you have boys.
Oh, I want a girl.
Oh, you do want a girl, so later on, maybe a little
Yes.
girl.
Britney Spears currently has 2 children, but she's been vocal about her desire to have a third. This was one of her primary points of contention in her conservatorship, which required she have an IUD to prevent a pregnancy.
Britney did not want her father to be the conservator of her person, right? The person who makes decisions about her medical care and treatment and so on and so forth.
Just a few months after announcing her engagement to her long-term boyfriend, Sam Asghari, Spears excitedly announced that she was expecting. Her eagerness was understandable, but unfortunately, this reveal was ill-timed. Spears tragically miscarried, and to make matters worse, she now had to publicly announce the loss of her child. Spears' announcement was met with an outpouring of support from fans, but it must have been incredibly difficult to deal with such a tragic loss so publicly.
Oh my goodness. Hello. Ew. Strong Britney.
She was very drunk when she married Jason Alexander. In 2004, Spears famously married her childhood friend Jason Alexander in Las Vegas, only for the marriage to be annulled just 55 hours later. The annulment was petitioned for by Spears' family, who claimed she didn't understand her actions at the time.
What was her attitude? Was she just having fun, like yes, or were you both a little bit like, uh-oh, should we do this?
We was both like, yes, on the outside, and I think we was both on the inside, kind of like, I don't know, you know.
It's that nervous kind of danger a little bit. This might be wrong.
Yeah.
Spears made headlines for the frivolous wedding, with critics claiming it demonstrated her immaturity and poor decision-making skills. In Spears' memoir, she revealed the whole thing was a consequence of one too many drinks on a wild Vegas night out.
I was just honestly very drunk. And probably, in a more general sense, at that time in my life, very bored.
Unlike most ordinary 20-somethings, Spears' drunken escapades were considered fair game for public scrutiny and condemnation. Decades later, Alexander crashed Spears' wedding to Sam Asghari, resulting in Spears winning a restraining order against Alexander.
I was really just trying to see her and ask her if this was really what she wanted, and because of the conversation we were having.
So it was out of care for her. You wanted to make sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Her ex-husband, Kevin Federline, was obsessed with fame.
You just see Britney and you think you can just go, hey, how you doing?
Hey, actually, it was her that was like, hey, how you doing?
Really?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. And then right away you knew that was it? Mm-hmm. Really?
Mm-hmm. It just kind of clicked.
Britney's second marriage was with dancer Kevin Federline and lasted from 2004 to 2007. During that time, Spears and Federline had 2 children together, fulfilling Spears' lifelong dream of motherhood, but their relationship was tumultuous. In her memoir, The Woman in Me, Spears revealed that Federline was obsessed with fame and wanted to be famous at any cost.
When I first saw him, I'm like, this guy's just out here for a free ride. I don't like the way he looks.
I'm getting it on camera, abuse right here.
I don't like the way he walks. I don't like the way he wears clothes, his hair. There was nothing I liked about Kevin the first day I met him.
His desire for recognition calls into question the legitimacy of their relationship at all, considering Spears is one of the most famous celebrities of all time, and anyone in a relationship with her is bound to make headlines. Speculation aside, Spears wrote about the difficulty of watching her husband's desire for fame and fortune consume him entirely, leading to the downfall of their marriage.
Here, hour, she's already telling me to leave. See what time it is?
There is a clock right there. Ew! No, you're the one who said you were leaving.
No, you told me to leave.
Her fitness as a mother was questioned.
That's dangerous. And she put her child at risk. You saw the questions that were being asked. Is Britney a bad mom?
Once her 2 sons were born, caring for them and keeping them in her life was one of Spears' absolute top priorities. Unfortunately, her massive celebrity made motherhood far more complicated, especially with the predatory paparazzi of the early 2000s. In 2006, photos of Spears driving with her infant son on her lap caused intense public backlash. Spears admitted she made a mistake in doing so, but claimed she felt unsafe when paparazzi surrounded her and wanted to quickly remove herself and her son from the situation.
They're coming up on the sides of the car, which is a scary situation for me, and they're banging on the windows, and that's not something I want my baby to, so I get my baby out of the car and I go home.
The photos caused many to question whether she was fit to be a mother, even though the photographers themselves were the reason Spears felt panicked in the first place.
Make you weep?
Oh, I've wept. Yeah, I've definitely wept just with the world, how judgmental they are.
She was sexualized from a young age.
What was that? Everyone's talking about it.
What?
Well, your breasts.
Spears was introduced to life in the spotlight from an early age due to her role in the Mickey Mouse Club, but her public image wouldn't maintain its youthful innocence for very long. Spears' image started becoming more sexualized from the young age of 16, notably with her Baby One More Time music video. The video is set in a high school, with the teenage pop star wearing a school uniform modified to include a short skirt and midriff-bearing top. The song and video were both massively successful, but looking back, it's clear Spears was way too young to be sexualized in that way, and we can't help but question how the adults around her were okay with this. Her comeback was ridiculed. There was a lot of pressure placed on Spears before her 2007 VMA performance, which was supposed to be her comeback after a year of heavily publicized personal challenges. In her memoir, Spears writes that she didn't feel ready to perform, but her team wanted her to do so to counter the negative media attention she was receiving. Unfortunately, Spears' instincts were right. The performance was a low-energy, messy embarrassment for Spears, and the media didn't cut her any slack for it. Tabloids and talk shows relentlessly ridiculed Spears' performance and cruelly attacked her appearance. The media showed no mercy for the new mother of 2 dealing with a heavily publicized mental health crisis during what was supposed to be her triumphant comeback.
This has just made things worse for Britney. We actually did a flash poll on usmagazine.com immediately afterward asking, is Britney back? And 81% said no.
She terminated an unplanned pregnancy.
What's your idea of a perfect Valentine's Day? Probably just waking up in the morning and being with the person that I love and eating a big, big breakfast.
One of the biggest bombshells dropped in Spears' 2023 memoir, The Woman in Me, was the story of her unplanned pregnancy with then-boyfriend Justin Timberlake. Spears was surprised by the pregnancy, but not opposed to having a child. It was Timberlake who wasn't yet ready for fatherhood.
we were teenagers, you know, and
famous teenagers.
Yeah, and I think that's basically the best way to describe
really good
what happened to us.
Spears terminated the pregnancy at Timberlake's suggestion, but wrote about what a difficult and heartbreaking decision it was to do so. It's impossible to say how going through with the pregnancy could have changed the trajectory of Spears' life and career, but it's heartbreaking she went through with a decision she didn't agree with.
I see you in my dreams. I see your face. You're haunting me.
A painfully public custody contributed to her breakdown.
She refused a court order to turn her two children.
She was supposed to hand over her two sons last night to Federline, but refused.
She reportedly had barricaded herself inside the room at one point.
She was rushed to the hospital overnight.
Wheeled out brought here to Cedars-Sinai Hospital as distressed.
Major depression, bipolar disorder, anxiety disorder. No one could say what it
is under psychiatric evaluation.
Britney Spears' highly publicized 2007 mental health crisis felt like watching pop culture history in the making, but the public's perspective of the incident has changed greatly in recent years. Spears made headlines when she shaved her head and attacked a paparazzo's car with an umbrella, and the harsh media culture of the early 2000s was quick to ridicule Britney's lowest moments without considering the context.
Thank you, Britney Spears. Being bad is good for my business.
Oh, I know that. So she's your number one.
By far.
Your bread and butter this year.
At this time, Spears was juggling superstardom with intense personal struggles, including the death of her beloved aunt, postpartum depression, and a painful custody battle with ex-husband Kevin Federline. Looking back, it's clear Spears was cracking under an unbearable amount of pressure, and her breakdown was a cry for help the media never should have ridiculed.
The custody suit grew more contentious when the judge gave Kevin Federline full custody of the two boys. Soon thereafter, Britney would return to the hospital under another involuntary psychiatric hold.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You'll have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. The dark reality of her conservatorship. Following her 2007 mental health crisis, Spears was placed under a controversial financial and personal conservatorship, which granted her father near total control over Spears' entire life.
When I tell them the way I feel, it's like they hear me, but they really not listening. They're hearing what they want to hear. They're not really listening to what I'm telling them. It's like, it's bad.
Initially supposed to be a temporary arrangement, the conservatorship was extended indefinitely and continued for many years before Spears began speaking out against her father. Britney alleged she was afraid of her father, forced to perform against her will, and wanted out.
She can work too? 2 is Ellen. That's right. 2 is her birthday. Is she going to be okay working on her birthday?
Sure. What do you want her to play?
No, I mean, can she rehearse on her birthday?
She's going to rehearse.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking.
The Free Britney movement became massively popular online, advocating for Spears to be freed from her conservatorship and allowed to live a normal adult life. In 2021, the conservatorship was terminated, and after 14 years, Spears was once again in control of her life and career.
What's next for Britney, and this is the first time that this could be said for about a decade, is up to one person, Britney.
Is Britney's music career truly over, or do you think the star's latest comeback is coming soon? Let us know in the comments.